Hey y'all, Alejandro Ibarra here, aka The Portrait Guy, and welcome back to my channel, Su Channel. Today, I want to show you 5 things you can do to start taking better pictures immediately. And this can be on your fancy DSLR, it can be on your phone, it can be on anything, honey, everything goes. Kick it. Well, I hope y'all are staying safe and staying inside and staying entertained and gaining weight like me. But let's just get right to it. First, you need to think about what vibe or what the story of the picture is. This is true for any picture in any area of photography ever of all time in history. Do you want a moody or dramatic vibe, or do you want something cute and joyful and uplifting? You're welcome for that. Once you know what you want, then we can move on to number 2, and biggest one probably, light. Most people think that a better camera is going to take better pictures, and that's just not true, honey. Light and understanding light will make or break your pictures. So now that you know your story or what the vibe is of your picture, now it's time for you to decide what type of light is best. And I know light is confusing AF, and I'll make a whole video on just light, at least one video. But for now, all you need to know is you have 2 options, let's say. One is harsh light, and one is soft light. Harsh light is all about harsh, defined shadows. Soft light is all about soft shadows. Harsh light is going to be much more appropriate for something dramatic and intense, or to bring out texture, like maybe in food or architecture, because you're getting very direct light causing very defined shadows, and that is what texture is. You see texture in shadows. So in soft light is the opposite. You actually lose texture. So that's why with people it's more flattering, because you lose some of those imperfections. It softens all that texture. It's all about that. So most portrait photographers shoot in soft light, but that varies. Very important side note, I'm not saying one is better than the other. Each one has its own qualities and will be appropriate for different scenarios. And every photographer is different. Maybe you decide you want to do all your portraits with harsh light because you love that intensity and that drama. Go for it, honey. If you have a bright and sunny day, no clouds at all, that's very direct light. That means it's going to be harsh light. If you want soft light outside with natural light, then you need a cloudy day. Or you can find open shade, maybe under a bridge or under a roof somewhere. You can always try to find a pocket of open shade. Lots of people shoot that way if it's bright and sunny and you have no control over the sun. Another thing you can do if all you have is a direct sun, but you don't want your subject to have all sorts of shadows on their face, is you can put the sun behind your subject. So suddenly it's like a backlight hitting the edge of the hair, etc. And then their frontal, their face, is now in open shade. So it's going to be more flattering and soft all around. Also, when in doubt, use window light. Window lighting is queen. So I'm going to show you a little trick that I do to figure out what kind of light there is in any space. If it's outside or if it's any room I walk into, this is what I do. I point one hand towards the light source, whether it be the sun or the clouds or, the light bulb in the room, whatever it may be. And with the other hand, I drink wine. And then what I do is I sort of hover it over the other hand, just like this, and I see the shadows that this hand is casting on this hand. They're very soft. You can't really see the shape of my fingers when I do this. That's because I have a soft light source right here. So that's a neat, simple little trick that you can do on any lighting situation to figure out what kind of light it is, or if it's soft enough or harsh enough, whatever. Up to you. Number 3, think about the composition of your images. This is another super extensive subject, but I'm just gonna give you 2 simple techniques you can use that'll drastically improve your composition. First, we got the rule of thirds. It's the most common one. You probably have heard of it, maybe. If not, no worries. Basically, what the rule of thirds says is to imagine a tic-tac-toe on your frame and place your subject either on a line or ideally on one of those intersecting dots between lines. If this is for a portrait, you want the eyes to be right on a line. That's the ideal. Basically, this technique is all about you not centering your subject. Most people, when they photograph something, they just put it in the middle and they don't think about it because, hey, everything should be in the middle, right? No. However, this other technique I'm going to share with you is about the exact opposite. You need to center your subject for this, and it's symmetry. or balance as I like to call it. So for symmetry, what you want is your picture to be flat and two-dimensional, kind of like a Mario Brothers game, and you want your subject to be in the middle, and you want to balance the elements around your subject. They don't have to be the exact same elements. So for instance, I have this plant back here on a stool, but I don't have the exact same plant on a stool over here. I have these two cameras instead. So hopefully those two are balancing themselves out. Hopefully. Let me know in the comments if it is balanced or not for you, because now I'm just like thinking about it. In order for this to truly work, it needs to be that frontal flat image. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible for you to have symmetry or balance in like at an angle, because there's this whole other thing cutting across. So just don't do that. Frontal, Mario Brothers. If you want more examples of this, watch any Wes Anderson movie ever. He's famous for having these beautifully balanced frames in his movies. Also very important that I think a lot of photographers, including myself, don't think about is to make sure you look at your entire frame. Because I can tell you how many times I've seen pictures of people and there's like random trash cans there that have nothing to do with the subject. It would be one thing if the trash can was part of it, but usually it's not. The following is very true and you should write it down, y'all. Every element in the picture should contribute to the story of the picture, honey. By the way, if you're liking any of the work that I'm showing here, in the description below are the links to all of the equipment that I use. Camera, lens, SD card, etc. Number 4, change your perspective. By default, most people take pictures of their subject from their own perspective. So like if I was gonna take a picture of this glass of wine, I would just bring my phone and be like, yeah. Instead, what we should do is adapt our perspective to our subject. So with this glass of wine, instead of being here, I want to come down and meet it down here. I want to become its equal. This wine is my equal. This wine is better than most people. So for food or still life in general, it's usually better to come down to their level. And also usually closer is better. If you're photographing a person and let's say you're doing a full body shot, you actually don't want to be at their eye level because their head is going to be, represented accurately in the picture, but their legs are going to be smaller because they're at the edge of the frame. Instead, you want to come down and sort of photograph them from their waist level-ish. This way, everything above and below will be proportionate. Another thing you could do is even shoot them from below. If you shoot someone from below, their legs are gonna look longer, they're gonna look taller. So basically just experiment. Think about it. Most humans are used to looking at the world through their eyes. Well, obviously, I guess. So if I look at a picture and I recognize it, I'll just be like, oh, I've seen that. But if you show me something from a different angle that I don't usually look at the world from, that's what makes an interesting picture. Number 5. Color. Color is so underrated by a lot of beginner or even intermediate photographers. Like it took me a long time to really care or pay attention to color, honestly, unfortunately. So there's obviously a lot we could say about color, but I'm just gonna share 2 simple things you can do that I use to use color for, and it's very simple. 1, you could go for a monochromatic effect. So have the similar tones of the same color all around your frame. That way nothing's really distracting. The only point of contrast almost becomes the skin. Or you could have a color contrast, usually with wardrobe and then the surrounding environment. So in my case, it's like wardrobe and the color of the backdrop, or it could be, like a wall or anything like that, or the sky. There's just so many options. But if you want to do color contrast, keep to 1 color relationship. The more variety and relationships of colors you add, the more distracting everything becomes. And at the end of the day, these are all things for you to organize your frame so that the viewer goes immediately to your subject. You don't want things to be distracting. And there you have it, y'all. I drank the whole glass basically, which I honestly wasn't intending to. And if you go out to shoot after watching this video, share it on Insta, tag me. I'd love to see it, love to see your work. You can check out my work there. I am also doing portfolio and website reviews, so hit me up on Instagram or email me here if you prefer, whatever. I'm around. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below if you did, or if you have any questions about what we talked about, or questions that I can answer in another video, or questions about photography in general, or questions about my love life. I'm single. If you did like the video, go ahead and like it, subscribe. It lets me know if you're enjoying the content and what kind of content you enjoy more so I can make more of that. At the end of the day, I'm just here to please all y'all. You're welcome. And I promise, if you start applying even one of these principles, your photography is gonna drastically improve. And if you apply all 5, you'll become the next king or queen of the 7 photography kingdoms, honey. And that's all, honey. Hi, it's me again. I noticed you didn't like the video or subscribe. Why is that? Oh, you're gonna subscribe now. Okay. Good.